Hi everyone, welcome to THT, and today this is the first episode of the Enigma podcast. I am joined by Beton,
Hello.
Sip,
Woohoo!
Al,
Hello.
and that's it. That's just the four of us for today. This might be a different mix of team member in different episodes, but that's what we have right now for today, unfortunately. So just before we start the video, I just would like to say that this video is sponsored by Card Market, the best marketplace to buy and sell cards in Europe. And without further ado, let's get into the podcast. If you guys don't know us, we are a competitive team of Star Wars Unlimited, and we've been competing. Bedon is our world champion, and all of us we try to play in tournament and perform. So today is we're gonna talk about go over a few questions and try to gather everybody's opinion on them and then what's up. So obviously the biggest news lately has been the release of the new set Secrets of Power. So obviously all of us have been playing the set for a few weeks now, whether online and in real life, of course, after with the pre-release. And so my first question is going to be how much are we enjoying the new set so far? So yeah, we're going to start by Beton, then go Sip, and then go around back to me, okay? So yeah, how much are you enjoying the new set, Beton?
Mediocre.
Okay.
I think the set is good. I think there is a lot of interesting design, and the meta got a lot of new stuff, but at the same time it feels really similar to the last set meta, with the addition that now half of the players decided to play pilot leaders. So this is one of the facts that I really don't like, and also there are few designs in this set that I really don't like. For example, Nemec or Emergency Power. And so I actually waiting really heavy for rotation, because I think the game will be much more fresh after, because I really don't like when we have too many sets.
So yeah, overall, you just think there's just not enough new blood in this set, like in terms of
Yes.
like the impact is not there.
Yes.
Okay, are you? So this is constructed. How about limited? What do you think about limited so far?
Oh, limited was awesome. I think the limited is really fun in this set. I think they made one really crucial mistake with Leia. I think if Leia wasn't in the set, it would be a perfect limited experience. But because she is, it's basically Leia versus Leia, which is still fun, but could be so much better.
Yeah, we're not in anywhere like in the Anakin situation that we were in set 3.
Not as oppressive, but to me it's similar, because I think Leia is by far the best leader in limited, and it's not even close to the other leaders. So yeah, it's not as like, because Anakin was just unbalanced in limited. She still feels like a leader, but the discrepancy between power between her and anything else is still really big.
Okay, cool. Sip.
So like construct like overall set wise, like I think the set is okay. I personally don't enjoy that much the archetypes that they are buffing. Like Beto mentioned pilots. I like also the blue, sorry, not blue, green, red villainy decks. Like Piet and Boba are getting support, and I also don't like those decks that much. So like, yeah, especially Piet. Like I've been trash talking Piet so much, but
Don't worry, it's
yeah.
not gonna be meta. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Like
Yeah, but
the deck is getting
that's
better,
good.
but there's no the fundamental issues with the deck are not fixed. So I don't think it's gonna be it's gonna be there. Like it's gonna be tier 3, but it's not gonna be like all
Are
over.
they like what issues do you have in mind?
With Piet.
Yeah,
We're talking about the same Piet, like the ship, the capital ship.
yeah, Piet Red.
Yeah. So the problem with this deck is that in order for the deck to perform, you need to draw a lot of very specific things at very specific moments. You need to get your draw at the right moment. Everything needs to fall into place in such a precise way that leaves very little room for error. If you're getting one thing at the wrong moment, you lose the game. And almost always, even if you draw absolutely perfectly, and Al can probably attest to this, Sabine is almost an unwinnable matchup, regardless. So that's some major issue. So it is a strong deck if you draw everything right, but if you don't, then so the set is helping a little bit with this, with the Gong Droid, making it a little bit more consistent. We have a few more good options in 8 drops. It helps a little bit, but it's not changing the fundamental issue with the deck.
Yeah, I mean, it got like better turn 1 plays because it's not just Gong, and also like there is the 2-mana 3/3, like just a solid turn 1 play.
But that's not saving you against aggro.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I played the deck quite a bit, and I think it's a good deck if you are new to Star Wars Unlimited and you're going to a tournament, and you haven't prepared much. It's an easy deck to play, so it's a good pickup. You can pick up this deck in tournament, and if you draw the right cards, the deck will be extremely powerful, and you don't need to be very skilled. But if you are like a more skilled player, I would advise against playing this deck personally. And that's coming from someone who's been loving the deck, by the way.
Yeah, that's how I view the deck as well. So yeah, that checks out. And like limited wise, I think it's also like Leia is the biggest problem. Like if there was no Leia in this format, it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, she's a little bit of a problem. Like I had the pre-release a few days ago, and I played 4 Leia greens, so not the greatest experience, like diversity wise, but like besides Leia, like the format is fun because it's kind of slower than some other limited formats from the past.
Okay. Before we go to I just want to specify that Sip and Beton obviously have their own YouTube channel called the Swoop Racers, and they also have their own Patreon that you can find on the Enigma Discord, which I'll put on the comment below. So obviously, if you're interested in their analysis, you should be, because they're some of the best players in Europe. Definitely check it out, and obviously join the Discord. And if you want to go further, you can even join their Patreon. So please do that. And that leads us to Al.
Hello, yeah. I have been having a lot of fun with this set, to be fair. I think whenever a new set comes out, I do tend to have the first month or so tends to be a lot of fun, obviously testing new things and just, playing against a variety of decks. So I don't think it necessarily means that the set has been a success or anything like that just yet, but obviously I'm just enjoying just being in a new meta. I would have liked the leaders, basically, as always, I would have liked some of the leaders to be more powerful, but the thing is, in a 6-set meta, I can't really blame FFG for not getting it right, because, they would have really had to push these leaders, to compete with, 5 other sets worth of leaders. So I think, like most people, we're just kind of waiting for rotation at this point. I think when rotation hits, we're going to hopefully be in a much more interesting, a whole new world, where we get to finally get rid of Spark Rebellion, because obviously that set has just been the best set in the game for so long. So yeah, I'm looking forward to rotation. I think it's fine having one more set here, with Beton said, this set feels a lot like the meta of last set, and I think we're just going to have to deal with that, and that's just going to be the case until rotation happens. But there are some cool leaders. I'd love to try and find a way to make Mon Mothma work. I think I'll just love everything about her. I love the playing officials out of aspect. I was thinking maybe I could do something with Lake Country, so you've actually got a way to survive against aggro. I don't know, but yeah, it's I'm interested in her. Obviously, Bail Organa is super interesting.
You might play
Dedra is a really interesting. You could play Daredevil. Yeah, that's
it's
true.
only one less HP, and you're giving in the 60 cards.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not like you care about any specific cards that much. So yeah, you're probably right. You just play Daredevil. Yeah, Dedra's really interesting as well. I think Padme's cool. So I think there are cool leaders. It's just whether they're going to be strong enough or not, I don't know. And as always, I'm having a lot of fun with Sabine. To be fair, Jar Jar is just the most fun card ever. I absolutely love him. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that as well.
Okay.
Just one point about limited. Maybe it would have been less of an issue if they would have just made Leia the rare leader. For whatever reason, she's the common and Satine's the rare. But maybe if they would have swapped that, then we would have less of a problem. Although it does mean that
she couldn't be a rare leader because she has an ability that only works in limited. So
yeah, and also
but
leader has to be rare.
Well, there you go. But what has to be rare? Sorry,
the weaker leader.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they have to stick to that. Yeah, but I think the set's cool. We've got to appreciate. I think that the two key mechanics of the set are both really good. I mean, disclose comes up all the time. Obviously, spies are good, and then the what is it? What's the other mechanic? Plot. Sorry, plot is obviously strong as well. So I think they're all strong without being completely busted. Obviously, they've pushed Nemec too far. Nemec specifically is just too powerful a card, and they've kind of messed up with that a bit. But I think other than him, there's no other card to me that's just completely busted. So yeah, I think it's a good set.
Oh, I think the best solution for Leia would just be put her into the starter deck.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't at least have a problem in sealed and draft, and like pre-release is only like one event, so at least then the whole limited experience would be better.
So just to talk about that. So obviously my opinion on limited is worth absolutely nothing because I've only played one pre-release. So my area just didn't have many pre-release, and I'm very busy with the baby, so I couldn't really take part in more. But for me, she's exactly like Snoke. She's pretty much Snoke. So if you have a problem with Snoke, Snoke was not like, he was the strongest leader in set 5, but because there were other strong leaders, it was kind of fine. Here's the problem: I feel like she's not really that strong on her own. It's just like she's much stronger than the other leaders. Do I understand correctly, or is?
Yeah, I think
I would
because we had Obi-Wan and Talzin, which were competitive to Snoke. The set was much faster. So you could also play Fifth Sister and just go base.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much of an issue, and in this set, Leia just don't have any competition.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll see because it's still early, of course, but I think also she's better in Seal than in Draft because she has no synergy whatsoever. She makes your one drop. Snoke was also better in Seal than in Draft, in my opinion. Because Sealed is slower, which makes Snoke better, and also it makes your one drop actually good, so it makes it easier to build around with your pull.
I'm not as sure because in Draft you also will get past a lot of cards that only work in Leia.
Okay.
Like 1/4 Sentinel for 1. It's basically a Leia card.
Yeah.
Or
unless
even
someone else also is playing Leia.
Yeah, so it will be basically how many players got Leia, and then how many players that take cards out of each other, and then you can sneak with something else because maybe too many players got Leia.
Okay. Well, I don't have any strong opinion about this. The person who won the pre-release didn't play Leia. He played Jabba. So. And me, I was playing the. I actually had Leia in my pool, but I literally couldn't build with her. It was terrible. I knew she. So I was forced into Dedra anyway. But I went 4-1, so not so bad. So yeah, Al, you good to go, or you got anything else to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think like I said, I'm pretty impressed with the set. I'm happy the mechanics are good, and I think we were just always going to be in this problem of feeling a bit stale when we're in 6 sets. So yeah, I think just a few more months now, we'll have rotation, and I think things will feel very different then.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. So thing I would add is even though I think plot as a mechanic is not a bad mechanic, there's just things that I really don't like. The thing is, first of all, the fact that they've pretty much only printed plots that benefit aggro and pretty much no plot that are control. The only control cards are Slimore and Cad Bane a little bit, but Cad Bane is more mid-range. Yeah, Slimore is the only real control card that I use plot. I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity. I mean, there's also 1 in a million, but that's just a bad card. It feels like there's a missed opportunity here to give a little bit of me to control, but this set is probably one of the most hostile to control set I've ever seen. In terms of control didn't really get much. We get condemn, which is okay, but it's not a strict improvement. And we also got there's mostly some crazy anti-control card Queen Amidala. Nemec is just completely absurd against control. So yeah, we'll see. I could be wrong, and obviously there's been clearly a wheel from FFG to erase control out of the map, and I guess we could have a debate about this of like whether we should have control in the game, or is it just a good thing that control is out of the game or not. But this is what they've been pushing. I'm not a big fan of it personally, but that's just my personal bias. On the plot mechanic, I like plots as an idea, but then there's the other issue I have with plot is the card that basically prevents interactions. So things like trade route taxation, the wrong ride, and Synthap in particular, those three cards, even though they have very power level and they're not those kind of plot cards that basically just say I don't want to play the game with you, I just want to play on my own, and prevents counterplay. I think those are not positive cards to have in the game. So they might end up just not being that big of a problem because they're not that powerful, but I just don't think that those designs are a welcome addition to the game. And obviously, Nemec is just ridiculous. This card is just like shouldn't exist in my opinion. It's just way too strong, and with no real deck building constraints. So, yeah. Other than this, I really like the leader design. I think there's a Al, you call, I think my favorite leader is Bale. There's a lot of interesting design. Unfortunately, I just don't think they are quite there, and I don't think rotation is going to help them. But we'll see with rotation how that works out. So overall, so far so good with the set. I'm not like I think Legend Falls probably better, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, I have a little things to add to what you said.
Go ahead.
First, I think plot is just worst smuggle.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, smuggle is the best. Smuggle is literally the best non-evergreen mechanic that has ever been added to the game. So.
But I think you forgot about one card. Topple the Summit is actually a control-esque plot card.
But very specific decks, yeah.
Even though FFG really wants to not have hard control in the game, every single set till now, there was a big tournament won by hard control. And I am actually happy that they print a lot of anti-hard control, because I think hard control role players will always find a way.
Yeah, but it just out control. Like, I agree with you, but I just think that the way hard control is not fun right now. Like, it's not fun to play with because we don't get new stuff. So it's not fun to play a deck that hasn't, even though it's a deck that still in certain meta can take people by surprise. Okay, you gotta go back to the fundamentals of why people play control. People play control because they want amazing late game, because they want to play messy. Also, people just want to prevent people from playing the game, a very defensive strategy, whatever. Okay, but also they want to have big finishers, big late game stuff. They want to play big things. You want to play cards that you can't normally play in a game of Stars Unlimited, cards like Annihilator, that kind of things. Unfortunately, we haven't really gotten any new great cards. So it's not only in terms of power level, it's also in terms of just fun to play. Like, to me, the fact that we are still basically on the same card for Spark of Rebellion as win condition is just boring. It's just boring, in my opinion.
I will address that with one thing. Yes, I think hard control especially is something that I really don't want to be really prevalent, because even though I don't mind playing versus it, playing mirrors might be a little bit boring, and I don't really want to have...
The mirror is boring because of the only win condition we have is vigilance. Like, I honestly, I really hope that... Like,
I wanted to say, because I think there is a lot of control in the meta. I think like Kira, Traun are the decks that still are control decks. They play, even though they play Annihilators, and they are really good decks still in the meta. So I think I don't mind how they handle control.
In set 5 they were almost non-existent, bro. Like, set 5 control was nowhere to be seen. Like, the Kira were struggling a lot. And once again, we can always pull out the Munich. Okay, Munich is is the exception that like in French we say the exception that confirms the rule. Like it's the one. Okay, the guy just and to be fair, like I don't think he
2
would be.
rounds in Bilbao in top 8.
Yeah, but like, I'm talking about real control decks. Like
It is a real control. If you're not talking about control, you're talking about hard control,
yeah,
and those are 2 different things.
yeah, no, okay.
One is fun to play, and the other one should not exist.
No, okay, no, okay. Anyway, that's one. That's not what the
because
okay.
hard control. To be honest, hard control archetype, because Drown Data Vault is a control deck.
Even
that-
control
that
as
is-
okay. Even control as
that
a
is-
whole struggled in this in set 5. Like
I don't
control
know. I
as a
actually-
whole struggled.
I actually don't think it struggled in this set.
It did, like it did, but
Like in every single big tournament, there were control decks in the top 8.
yeah, but like if you look at the whole and not only through the lens of like Bilbao and Munich, then you will realize that the control is struggling. Was struggling.
I'm not like in UK, in US, Palpatine won sector.
Ah, this
Uh,
Palpatine Yellow is it's pretty much a mid-range deck. Honestly, Palpatine is pretty much a mid-range deck. But anyway,
I will disagree with that because
no,
I still think
come on.
you want hard control to win the meta, and in the decks like Aiden, which is hard control, I think actually those archetype are unhealthy because they don't want to play the game.
Okay, I have a fundamental disagreement with this. Like, for me, like like playing defensive is playing the game. Like, but anyway, like okay, let's not get into it because I think we can go on hours and hours and like on this debate and unless you really want to make the podcast about this, but
I don't mind. we can go to the next topic.
okay, let's go to the next topic. We'll make a debate. Should hard control be a thing, and is hard control important too? Well, my next question is more about the state of the game. Like, what do you think about the state of the game as a whole, not only meta-wise, but like mostly like the ecosystem? Do you think that FFG is heading toward the right direction in terms of design? What are they doing right? What is like the top 3 things you would fix? Or so I guess Beton, you can start.
Yeah, I think I will go last with this one.
Okay. Sip.
Okay, so
Beton has not spoken first.
oh,
He doesn't know what to say.
No, it's not.
I know exactly what Beton will. That I probably will say exactly the same thing as Beton thinks, but yeah, like pilots. Like we absolutely hate pilots with Beton.
Yeah, no, I can
so,
definitely
yeah.
sympathize with this, and I 100% agree that pilots are
Yeah, that's
probably one of the
things
worst
design-wise,
mechanic
but, like,
that's been added to this game.
like besides pilots, it's okay overall. Like I feel like we have a pretty healthy balance of like different strategies. Like you say that there is not much hard control in the meta, but I don't think like hard control should be that popular, and there are still always people playing that archetype. Like in the Legends, we had Aiden Data Vault, which
Yeah,
was
but
played.
like it's not only in terms of like popularity. It's also I also want to say that in terms of like it's they made it boring to play because they are only giving us vigilance as a win condition. I think if hard control would be more fun to play against and also more fun to play with if we had like actual fun win condition instead of just vigilance and card from set 1.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. So yeah, like that's basically the
Okay,
like,
you're still talking about meta. Broaden your view, like the game as a whole, like the whole game, like not only the meta.
so like what do you mean specifically?
Like the product.
I mean, I would say like
Do you think Star Wars
Wars
Unlimited is gonna be around in 2, 3, 5, 4, 5 years?
Oh, that's a super tough question to answer, but
You don't have to.
we'll
I'm just telling you, like this is kind of like the direction I want you to go, in terms of like
I can see the game lasting for sure. Like so far, like they are like innovative with like the new sets. Like it's not like we have every single time the same things. So like from like the design perspective, like there are new mechanics always, and they're different enough from each other to the point where it's still fun. So yeah, I can definitely see the game being still alive in those few years for sure. Even though like the market is kind of competitive right now with like the different TCGs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So you think that they're doing a good job at renewing the experience with in the different sets, like the.
Like there are a few like design things that I don't like the pilots that I mentioned, but
Yeah.
overall I am like satisfied with like how the things are working. Like they could be better, but they're good enough in my eyes.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Al.
Well, first of all, just once again, get on record. I also hate pilots, so I think if we all say that enough, then hopefully they'll learn from the mistakes. But yeah, I think pilots are dreadful for the game. I never liked upgrades as like a core thing in the game, and I still don't. I think upgrades are very similar to pilots, and that's part of the problem with pilots. They are upgrades in that it's just like all or nothing. All in, win the game. General's Blade on turn 2. Do you have an answer or not? Kind of thing. So I don't really like upgrades anyway. So I kind of hope that they kind of move away from that more. Obviously, they're gonna have to keep including them, but everything else about the core rules of the game, I love. I think it's a fantastic game. I think some of the set design is a bit sketchy. Obviously, pilots
just
are the
to
most
get on the
egregious
upgrade
example.
thing, just very quick.
Yeah.
Magic solved the upgrade problem by making basically the equivalent of upgrade in Magic are auras, and auras kind of suck in Magic as a whole in general. And they solved that problem with with equipments. And the way equipment work for people who don't play Magic is that they are upgrades, but you don't play them directly on your units. You play them first, then you pay a cost to attach them to your units, and then when the unit died, the upgrades fell on the floor, and you can once again pay its cost to equip with something else. So it's a lot less all or nothing, and it's a much smarter way to do. And they could have done this for Star Wars Unlimited as well, I think.
To be honest, I know you might fit in Magic, but even in Magic, auras and equipment are either useless or OP.
Yeah, but like on on the fundamental, like from a rule standpoint, like then what they printed, whatever, like on a fundamental level, upgrade equipment by essence are less all-in than upgrades.
Yeah,
by essence.
Like with upgrades, I really don't mind the upgrades that are not aggressive. Like for example, Protector. I think it's a really cool upgrade. Like the Condemned is a really
of course, you picking
they're basically events though, right? They're just kind of events, to be honest with you. Like not Protector, but like Traitorous, Condemned. They're basically just events. But they
are events that you can interact with in future turns, which is really, I think this is the design I really like. Even the upgrades that, for example, I actually really like. It's an older upgrade that is not really played. The 2 mana +1/+1 that gives another experience if you attack.
Yeah.
They are just better upgrades than this.
There are examples of upgrades that are well designed, like of course, but we're just talking from a fundamental standpoint. And for example, almost every single it's the same with pilots. Like pilots are overall pretty bad, especially pilot leaders. But there are some pilots that break the rules. Like this, for example, I like Boshek, for example.
I want to say the same. I think you can have design like pilots in the game and still have this like pilots could be a really cool mechanic, but they forced it to be really aggressive mechanic, which is really swingy, which is really bad for the game. Especially, I think Chewbacca is one of the worst designed card in the game.
I agree.
Card that I actually really liked was Luke, but I still think Luke
is basically the fixed version of Chewbacca, basically.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have free attack. I think this card would be so much better if it was like +2/+2, not +3/+2.
The card's not even that good though. Why would you want to nerf it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what?
It's not that good because we have cards like Chewbacca.
No, honestly, like I don't think most decks play either of them anymore. Honestly, like you probably some decks will still play Chewbacca in the side or whatever, but like Luke, why would you? Of all the cards you want to nerf, you want to nerf
No,
Luke?
no, I
Like
don't
what?
want to. I don't want to nerf Luke in the meta we have now. I
Right.
want, if they want to go in the future into making a similar mechanic, I would
Yeah.
prefer to be like Luke, but not as aggressive.
I mean, if Luke was +2/+2 for 3 resources, he would be completely unplayable. Like that would be terrible. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Like I don't like that idea. But
basically, yeah, basically, in that the fix I've suggested I made a video where I basically rework every leader from jump to light speed, and basically my suggestion for almost every one of them is to give a lot less stats and give some sort of immediate impact on the game.
yep, yep.
Yeah, I think Luke would be really cool as a +2/+2 heal 2 from your base.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
so-
mean, Al was on it, so let's keep. let's
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going.
So yeah, I the upgrades. Like I said, I don't like them. I've played Darksaber on Sabine enough now that I
Okay, but let's
absolutely
talk
hate
about the
that
state
card.
of the game. Let's zoom out.
Yeah.
Because we're still talking.
Yeah,
about
yeah, I'm getting to it. Don't you worry. So that's like the gameplay stuff, right? So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, the sort of wider state of the game then. So one thing that I think they've got a bit better at in like the past year, especially with the Galactic Championship, is like the promo cards and stuff. We've talked about this before, and I know that I think you find it less a problem than I do. But I think that like PQ rewards are terrible. Like they're just absolutely dreadful. They pick like the wrong cards almost every time. I have no desire to play in a PQ to get the rewards. It's only for like the points or whatever. Like the rewards are just so rubbish. So I really dislike that. At the sectors and the regionals, it's less of a problem. In the Galactic Championships, I think the rewards there are actually quite good. But yeah, I just think that they could easily fix these things by picking the right cards. How hard would it have been just to pick Nemec as the card? Or no, it doesn't have to be Nemec, but just something that's clearly going to be good. Like, what did they pick this time? Darth Nihilus, and what was the other card? I can't remember now, but yeah, they just picked cards that are like so niche.
I think no,
and
there's the
just
Queen Amidala is actually the showdown one. Actually,
Okay, well that's yeah.
in the
that's-
last 3 sets, actually, the showdown promo has been like a million times better than the PQ promo.
Yeah, and like that's just unacceptable to me. Like I think that's it's rubbish. And honestly, even the Amidala one, like it looks worse than the actual like standard art. And the fact that she's got an amazing prestige, it's like I still don't want it. And then obviously, we've talked before about the OP borders. They obviously look hideous, and they're still doing them. They've still not fixed that for some reason.
100%.
So like
yes to this.
So like the promos are just awful, and these are fixes that cost FFG nothing. Like it really isn't that big a deal, and it would just make the game so much better. It would make these cards more valuable. If they just spent more time thinking about that and just picking the right cards. I know it's never going to be perfect, but every single set it feels like they pick the wrong card. So I'm not a big fan of that, and they don't ever seem to learn the lesson, even though things are getting a bit better. As to your question about like whether the game will be around in a few years, it is obviously hard to answer, but they've messed up a lot of stuff, honestly. Like I think that they've made a lot of mistakes. Like I said, they seem to be improving things a bit, but there's so many decisions in the past. Like the first year of the game, it felt like they did everything correctly, or it was maybe we just kind of gave them more of a pass because it was season 0. But now that we're into like the proper main part of the game's lifespan, it just feels like they're making a lot of mistakes. So I'm not a big fan of that. Obviously, logistically, the game's been a bit of a nightmare, right? Like we've had promos not being given out at events. We've had the Galactic Championship where the queues were massive and everyone was buying out all the rewards and nobody could get anything. It's been a bit of a disaster there. A little personal gripe of mine, which, this is more specific to me, I think, but, I guess that's the point of this. I think that, I wish they cared more about putting on a good show for like the stream and the casting and stuff like that, because I think some companies do a great job. Sometimes it's a bit sloppy. Generally it's okay, but I just think that at the end of the day, they have a habit of bringing in like people from outside of the game, and I just think that if you want the game to, if you don't need streams for the game to be successful, but it's a great marketing tool, and putting on a great broadcast for people around the world so they can watch the tournaments will help people to get excited to play the game. And if they've got people, Like I said, logistically, the people are not getting the prizes, and the commentary are people who don't fully know what they're talking about with regards to the game. I just think it. Do you know what I mean? I'm just being honest, right?
No,
Like
that's
I
fine.
think
That's fine.
you
That's
know,
fine.
I think it's you need someone who knows the game, right? And if you don't get that, I just think it just looks terrible, and you see it. You see it
Shots fired.
in the comments afterwards. You see what people say. They're like, these guys don't understand the game. So obviously, I have a vested interest because I'm a commentator, but like I just think that I think that they need to take things like that a bit more seriously. And again, it's not like it costs any more money. I'm not asking for more money off Effigy. I'm asking for like them to just use the resources they've got more wisely.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, I agree with everything you say. I just don't think they are like. I think they are like very secondary issue. And honestly, if that's the issue we are complaining about in 2025, that's actually pretty good. Like we're in a pretty. If that's really are the biggest issue with Stars Unlimited right now, we are in a pretty good spot.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I? Okay. I want to do a little bit more positive perspective on it. I think even though I personally don't love the meta, I think the diversity of playstyles are really good. This game is more diverse than any other game I played.
No, that is 100% true.
So it's also really accessible to people. I think the fact that I think Carbonite actually solved a little bit of an issue for new players to come in because the game became much cheaper.
Yeah, I'll talk about the downside of this, the other side of the coin of that of that thing. But it's good because you're putting the positive of it, and I'll talk about the negative of it.
Yeah. With the prizes, I think the biggest problem with PQs is not that the fact that they are putting bad cards. This is the one problem. I think it's kind of boring that we have a PQ level event, which should be like kind of a big thing, with the prizes that you basically end up at one card for winning it. And the cards are not unique. I would really like for them to do something unique for PQs. Either like
well, they are unique.
They
are uniquely ugly, but they're unique.
Unique. I mean, you could get like bases. You could like something that you couldn't get in any other style of event.
You mean the card that has special ability? No.
No. I mean, like they could, for example, for PQ, just give you hyper foil basic bases with like top 4, top 8, top 1.
That would actually be pretty cool. I agree with this.
And I think it would be much more fun to go to this event because you would like. There are tons of bases. There are tons of special bases, so they wouldn't run off, and it would be okay. Those bases you could got only in PQs, and then you would always be at least like somehow excited about the cards because it wouldn't matter if they are good or bad because you could always use them.
Yeah.
I love what they did for sectionals and regionals. I think the boosters are amazing. They put really good cards into them, and the value are actually really good.
Yes.
It was sad that you couldn't get them in Bilbao.
Yeah, still waiting for my packs from Bilbao. I mean, it's only been a month.
But
so
I still think Bilbao, even though it was a massive problem that they didn't get the prizes, but the event was so much better organized anyway than, like, for example, Galactic. And recently in Munich, I think it was one of the best organized events, at least for me. Like, side events were running super smoothly. They fixed a prize wall because they did it digitally, so you could always check how many stock are for anything and like lock prizes before you come into the queue.
Oh.
I didn't even knew that was the thing, but
yeah,
that was in Munich.
Yeah, it was in Munich. So it was much better because the queues, there will always be a big queue at the end of the event because like every player that finishes a tournament will go there.
But it doesn't have to be that way. You could just imagine a system where instead of just choosing the reward as you go to an event, like you go to side event. But in my opinion, all the rewards, those things should be given in side events. They should not be VIP. They shouldn't be any of that bullshit, in my opinion. It should be all through the side events. And then when you go to a side event, you go, okay, you know in advance what you are competing for whenever you're going to that specific side event, and then you play that side event, and then you get the reward at the end, a fixed reward at the end whenever you win the event or you do well in the event.
I don't mind. I actually like ticket systems and the fact that you can choose your prizes. And
here
like
you can choose by choosing the side event, and this way you're not going through a massive queue. You're basically the organizer gives you the reward at the end.
Yeah, but then for example, if you want a specific card, you need to play a specific event, and like if all the tournaments have it done like it was in Munich, I think nobody would have a problem with it. We spent like, I don't know, 15 minutes in a queue.
Yeah, that's fine.
Total. And it was because we went at the end of the event when everybody was in the queue to get their prizes. And lastly, what I wanted to say, you asked if the game would be alive in few years. I think if they will improve as they do, because even though we are complaining a lot about a lot of stuff that we should complain, the game is still going in the right direction. Like they fixed the problem with ugly cards in promos mostly. We still have the OPE cards, but I still don't think they're that big of an issue because the graphic, like the graphic aspect of the game went up significantly.
Oh, I would disagree with that. I don't think there's been significant improvement on the art in this game.
I think looking at the Carbonites-esque cards, they are looking really good.
Okay, I would disagree with this. I think the Carbonites were great in Jump to Light Speed, but then in Legend of the False, the prestige card didn't look great, and now in this new set the propaganda one are great, but then the other ones, the outlaw ones, are
completely agree.
horrible.
Yeah.
So
I actually
it reflects in sales as well. Like the Carbonites, Legend of the False Carbonite did not sell nearly as well as the Jump to Light Speed ones.
Legends of the Force, I completely agree. I think except from like a few, they were kind of bad. But in this set, I think they are really much better. And I think propaganda arts are just amazing. But the bounty cards, I don't mind them. Live, they are looking really nice with the foiling on them. And like going to what I wanted to say before, like I think that if they are, because they are listening. I think this is one of the big things.
That's true.
They are experimenting. They are trying new things. They are wanting the game to succeed. And if they will continue to do it, I think this game have a really good future, because like looking at least at my locals and like my community, it's still growing. And it is completely different from other FFG games that I played before.
If that's your reference, then okay.
And to be honest, it's different than any other game I played before except Magic. And even Magic always have like ups and downs in play rate. And you still have ups and downs in Star Wars, because I think at the end of set 3 there was like kind of
for sure.
not the best.
That was the end of set 3 was beginning of set 3. I mean, this time period in set 3, like even a few months of it, that was the worst moment for the game.
But like this set, like every single big event is sold out. Every single PQ is almost sold out, at least in
Poland, yes.
Poland.
In Poland, but it's not like that in other countries.
No, but I think the big PQs in big cities are almost always sold out.
That's true.
And I prefer that they still do the smaller, like for example, Dublin PQ. It will probably never sell out.
Shots fired.
It will probably never sell out, but it's still really good that they promoting games in every single like place.
I agree.
right now we even have like PQs in like Africa and Asia, which is super fun.
Yeah, even though,
And yeah, some are really small, but for example, I think there was like a PQ for like 60 plus people in China recently.
Yeah, but for China standard, this is tiny. Like,
Yeah,
if you get 60,
it's super.
basically getting 60 player event in China is like getting a 5-player tournament in in Europe.
Yeah.
Like, it's
But also China is, I think, the biggest competitive market for card games.
No, the
Because-
real reason is because nobody cares about Star Wars in
Yeah.
China. Nobody cares about Star Wars.
And like first PQs were like 10, 12 people. Now they have 50, 60.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
it
a
will
good
grow.
deal.
I think the game fundamentals of the game are so good that even though they screw up with mechanics with certain cards, the game is still defending itself just how good it is.
Yeah, they haven't screwed up, like, comparatively to other card game, they have screwed up very little from a gameplay standpoint, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, most of the issue with the games have nothing to do with gameplay, and that's the reason why the games. So I'll just do you have anything else to say, or?
I just wanted to add that I think this set is good enough that it will continue the growth. And since it's a 6th set in the rotation, I think it will always be the hardest set to make, because most of the cards will not matter as much now, and they also can't make them too OP because they will be too good post rotation.
Yeah.
So I actually think this set did well in this case, that we have cards that impacted the meta, but we don't have cards that will completely destroy the game, except for Nemik.
Yeah.
So I'm actually optimistic on the prospect of how the game looks, and the only thing, just ban pilots.
Well, we're gonna have another year. We're gonna have another year with them at the very least. So that's the sad part.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Yeah. And they're going to be stronger after post-rotation. That's the worst part.
Just add one caveat. Whenever you play a pilot, you need to destroy their resource. And we will not have any problem with the mechanic anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. So basically, just to to summarize what I want to say, I think that overall, from a gameplay standpoint, the game is great. Like, there are issues, but that's true in every game you're ever gonna play. They are gonna issue, but from a gameplay standpoint, the game is doing great, and it's reflected in the player base. So if you look at the player base, this game is played. It is played by a lot of people. We talked about earlier about the tournaments and being sold out and all that stuff. The biggest issue with this game, and what could cause this game to die, none of you guys have talked about it, is the fact that cards, the boxes don't sell, and that's a major issue, because obviously at the end of the day it's a business, right? And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if FFG is not making a lot of money with this game, because almost all, like, and the problem is, like, they're burning a lot of bridges right now, because there's a lot of gaming store who are not able to sell their product, and they're gonna stop supporting the game bit by bit. And we're seeing this issue in many stores. I can see my gaming community is growing, but at the same time, shops are dropping the game. Like, and only the store who actually keep the community alive actually keep the game. And the problem is, like, this is a lot of lost business for a Fantasy Flight game. So I'm afraid of this, because at the end of the day, if FFG doesn't make money, they will not support the game, and the game will die, even though some people play the game. So what the main issue that FFG needs to tackle in the next few sets, and they should have tackled it a long time ago, because it's been something we've been talking about since at least a year ago, is that legendaries are not good enough. There's no real chase card in the game, and chase cards are what made people buy booster boxes. And I understand that, Beton, you were saying this earlier, that the game is very accessible, and it is definitely the advantage of this system that they're doing right now. It's like, it makes the game very accessible. But at the end of the day, they still need to make money, And I'm once again, I don't have my nose in their finances, so I can't tell if they're making good money out of the game or not. And especially with Asmodee, as certain standard in terms of certain expectation they have, I'm really afraid that it's not a good sign whenever your box is at €110 MSRP and it's sold and people are selling it for 70. That's not a good sign for the game. It's not a good sign that there's no chase card. It's not a good sign either that the Carbonite boosters are also dropping in prices, because, as we said earlier, the new Carbonites simply don't look that great, and also because there's simply no collectors for this game. It definitely is a gamer's game. It is not a collector's TCGs. People don't care about collecting this game, because cards look bad. Like I don't think. Once again, the problem is, like, the best looking card in the game are the cards that only competitors like us can obtain. Like the people who are collectors, who are interested in getting good looking cards, they don't have access to those cards unless they have to pay outrageous price to get them. I think that those cards that that are given out in prices should be the standard. They should be the standard for how the game looks like, and all the cards in the game should look like this, in my view. And I think this is the look of the game has been one of the major thing that has limited the growth of this game from the very beginning. Al talked about the frames earlier. I think the frames are like those OP frames. Those should be fixed a long time ago. This is literally inner shadow on Photoshop. Like, literally click inner shadow on Photoshop. Like, it's literally so lazy. Like, it's not. If you're gonna do this, I might as well have no frame at all. So then you have a full art card, and people actually will enjoy that. But anyway, so I think this is the issue that they need to tackle in 2026. They need to make people want to buy boxes, and it's not difficult. They just need to print a legendary card that are more desirable. They need to create more chase cards, so then people actually want to buy boxes. Opening boxes will be more fun, and people will be valuing buying boxes. It's not normal that every single set the best cards in the game are in commons and comments. It's just not normal. I understand that it's going to make the game more expensive, yes, but we're talking about a game that is mostly appealing to middle-aged men with insane disposable income. From a marketing standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to make a game that appeals to that target demographic and not try to squeeze a bit of money out of them. So I know I'm going to sound very greedy, and I'm sure many people are going to... But that's how business works. I work in the video game industry, and that's how it works. You need to... and as I said, we want the game to be financially viable, and if the game is great, and if there's a great community, but then FFG said, well, sorry, as Asmodee said, we don't make enough money, we have to close doors, everybody loses in the end. So that's the first thing. The second big thing that we need to get right is the rotation. The rotation is a big question mark. Players like us, competitors, love rotation because it's going to renew the meta, it's going to make everything new again. But there's a lot of people, notably a lot of casual players, who are extremely hostile to rotations, especially short rotation like this in 2 years. So that's going to be a big question mark, whether the game is going to survive rotation or not. The third biggest question mark is going to be Riftbound, and the market, basically, generally speaking, like the fact that the game is extremely competitive. There's so many card games out there, but Riftbound is going to add another competitor. So can the game survive? Because here's the thing: there's a lot of people who simply just buy into the latest thing. So Riftbound, I know a lot of people, including some people in Team Enigma, who are actually going to be playing Riftbound. So that's going to have an impact on the game. So those are like three factors, like rotation, sales.
Can I just say something here as well quickly, just to that point? Like, I think it's both good news and bad news here. I think compared to some other card games, the issues this game faces are very, very fixable. Right? Yeah. If you look at like Magic, for example, right, standard in Magic is dreadful at the moment. It's horrendous. They've just made some bans anyway that's like hopefully make it slightly better, but it's so bad. And a lot of the problem with it is just because of basically corporate greed, and obviously the way that Wizards have sold out, and there's just going to be no fix to that because they make so much money that's not going to fix. Yeah. This game, the problems are so easily, some of them are so easily fixable, some of them less so, but they are fixable. So it's both good news because it means that there's hope. It means they can actually turn it around. But also, what year are we in? Is this year 3 of the game? Or I can't remember now. But I think
second year.
Yeah, but like these problems have existed for a long time, and they don't seem to be making any changes to fixing them, and that's the you know the bad side of the coin. It's like, yes, these problems are fairly easy to fix, but they just don't seem to be doing anything about it, and I don't understand why.
No, yeah.
Like, look at the
But
legendaries this set.
You agree with what I said, right? Overall.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like, but the legendaries in this set are just unbearable. They're so bad. And the thing is, like, you know, if you want to keep the game cheap, you can do that. You don't have to make like Nemec a legendary. You know, like the actual powerful cards. You can make the really cool cards that people want to play with legendary. But they haven't even done that. Some of these legendaries are not interesting. They're not cool. They're not iconic characters. They're just nothing. You know what I mean? They are literally just the most boring cards, like Sinara San. Probably don't even know what that card is. It's a 7-cost 7/7 hidden cunning card, and it's a legendary. Like, that card is like an uncommon. You know, why is it a legendary? I have no idea. And you know, there's so many legendaries like that that are just they're not. There's nothing about them that's legendary, and I really don't understand why they make those decisions. You know, maybe I'm just naive, but I cannot get into my little brain why they decided to make Kylo Ren's command shuttle a legendary. I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, no.
Like, to be honest, there is no defending legendaries in this set.
But
because...
even in sets in general, like obviously this set is particularly egregious, but even every single set, the proportion of bad legendary is too high, way too high.
Yeah, set one was the only one. Yeah, set one was the only one.
Yep. Set one is the only exception, pretty much.
Set 2 also had like good legendaries.
Yeah, set 2 also had really good.
They have good, but if you look at the proportion of the good ones versus the bad ones, is what I'm trying to say.
But I think one really quick fix for boxes would be remove showcases from collectors. Because this is something that... Because now, the big problem right now is that there is nothing in boxes that you can't get in collector boxes. And collector gets like exclusive art, and I think even if they just remove showcases from collectors, it would drive a little bit more sales to boxes because people actually like showcases.
Yeah, but I honestly think that if you fix the legendary problem, people will actually buy regular boosters, because the people buy regular boosters is to draft, which they make draft competitive, which is great decision, by the way, making actually big tournaments in draft. So that they fix that aspect. But the second aspect is that people are buying regular booster box because it's the most cost-efficient way to get the legendaries. But the problem is that legendaries. So if you fix the legendaries, you're fixing the box's problem. You don't even need to do anything else.
But the second part is they did one thing correct. I think the fact that they made big tournaments in limited should make the boxes sell a little bit more.
Yes, but it's a small. I agree with you, but it's only fixing the problem partially. The core of the problem is the legendary. Really, if you ask anybody, the number one reason you're buying legendaries is you're buying a booster box is to get your set of legendaries. It's because you like opening booster box and you want to have your legendary for yourself.
Yeah, I think this is obvious. This is an easy fix.
Yeah, it is an easy fix.
But the fact that limited tournament actually make that stores are more open to run limited events, and because people are suddenly going to them.
Yeah, and also they are forced to buy in order to buy Carbonite booster. They are forced to buy regular booster, so they need to find a way because nobody want to buy them. So in order to sell their booster box, they have no other choice but to organize limited event, which is great. But it is still not a great news that the most basic product of the game doesn't sell well.
Yeah. For example, last set, I don't think there was as egregious legendary problem because at least there were chase cars that you wanted.
Yeah.
In this set, I think the problem that they actually made Padme a showcase card is a really negative because it's the only card from legendaries you actually want.
Yeah, showdown.
You mean a prestige? Sorry.
No,
showdown. Oh, you mean the showdown? Sorry, yeah.
It's a showdown promo and a prestige card, so it's going to be all over the place.
Yeah. For example, this is the first set I didn't buy anything, just because I know I will get all my commons and uncommons from going to limited events because I'm going every single, like, or even twice a week to limited events. And there is not a single legendary card I want. And buying boxes to get like Nemec is not really worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until
So yeah, this is a problem they really need to fix, but I hope they will.
Yeah, I think
I just
that,
don't understand why they haven't. Like,
Yeah,
I really
exactly,
can't
yeah.
get my head around it.
Yeah, it's a maybe. So the only explanation I have for this is like it's a strategy of like they're making the game super accessible, so a lot of people start playing it, and then once everybody is hooked on it, they start putting legendary, super expensive legendary all over the place. But the problem is like if they do this, people are just gonna. The problem is like they're setting an expectation for people who like the game being super accessible. They are setting an expectation that is not sustainable. This is not a sustainable situation, and then they're gonna break that expectation. That expectation, and people are simply just gonna leave the game. So that doesn't seem to be a winning strategy for me. For me, they should have set expectation right away. They did a great job with set one on that front. Make the product exciting to open. Yes, it makes the game expensive, but we have disposable, like the average Star Wars Unlimited player has a lot of disposable income, so they can afford it and make money and make the game sustainable.
They also, some part of it maybe because of the rotation, they wanted to make the game excessive before rotation, because so people wouldn't be as scared of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, all the cards that are rotating out are the most expensive card in the game. So that doesn't really work. Well, I just want to finish.
What do you mean? Do you mean Anakin is not rotating out?
No, it's not. Is he the most expensive card in the game right now?
Might be.
I still think
Yeah,
Luke is...
It's definitely up there of the, like, one of the most.
Yeah.
Let me go to card market and check.
Okay, well, just we're gonna do a card market break then. Just to let you know, they can pick up Karis Nemec for €7 on card market. One of the most expensive rare we had in a while, which is not a surprise at all to anybody, I think. So that was a little card market break. I just wanted to finish my analysis saying that 2026 is going to be the most important year of the game history. I think that if we get past 2026 and the game is still on the growth trajectory by the end of 2026, the game will be sustainable for the foreseeable future, basically. However, if 2026 is failed and we start into a decline, then I can see the game dying within the next 2-3 years, or even less than that. So I think 2026 is going to be super important for the 3 reasons I talked about, which is box prices, because I don't think the situation is sustainable, the competition with Riftbound release, and the what was the third one? Anyway, I forgot about it. But anyway,
Legendaries.
No, that's the affordability part.
To be honest, I actually want to add one positive thing about Riftbound, because Riftbound will bring a lot of players that didn't play card games to card games.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it's going to be very because they were already a card game. I would agree with you if we didn't have already a League of Legends card game.
Yeah, but to be honest, I mean, people who play online card games not always transition to cardboard card games.
The people who play League of Legends would. You know what I mean? Like the population that played League of Legends would play Legend of Runeterra.
No.
No, I mean, if they're interested in card
to be honest, I play League from the beta. A lot of my friends are League players.
Let me rephrase. Do you know anybody who loves League of Legends and also enjoys card game who hasn't played Legends of Runeterra and would play Riftbound as a result? I don't think you can find anybody like this.
No, but I know a lot of players that played League, didn't play Legends of Runeterra, but are excited to collect cards.
Okay.
And I think this is actually a like part of the amount of people that may transition to other games, because to be honest, after playing Riftbound, I think that the game is bad.
Okay.
So I don't think the core of the game is good enough for this game to be sustainable for a long time.
Yeah, well, something I know about Yu-Gi-Oh is like you don't need to be a good game to be successful.
To be honest,
Shot fired.
Yu-Gi-Oh is not really that successful.
What? What?
It's like the third most successful
Yeah,
card
just-
game of all time, right?
Yeah.
But now, we need to like consider the. I mean, in the spheres that we play, if you cut out Asia, Yu-Gi-Oh is basically a dead card game.
Okay, well, we can make the
but
same
that's like-
argument about any
Yeah,
game.
but-
Like, you cannot Europe.
It's
and
like half
South-
the world, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is part of the world that is not as like.
And I also disagree with this. Like, at least you go in Dublin, like in Ireland, like Yu-Gi-Oh is very, very popular in every game store. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh is
It's popular
very,
in England as well.
Yeah, so maybe
it might not be popular in Poland.
Maybe it's just Poland, because I
Because
don't know
Poland
a
are-
single
are-
person that plays it.
Because Poland are
Yeah.
people of fine taste, but
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
but no, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is crazy popular, bro. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's also like, I think the nostalgia is a hell of a drug as well. Nostalgia is just a really powerful drug, and the nostalgia. If you are nostalgic towards Star Wars, there's like a quadrillion games you could be playing instead of Star Wars Limited. So the Star Wars fan base is split across just too many games. While if you're nostalgic to Yu-Gi-Oh, to the anime, there's only one game for that. There's only one fix for that.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not saying that Yu-Gi-Oh is not popular. It is so long on the on market that almost everybody heard of it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Well, we're just gonna, if you want, we can move on to the third and final question, because I'm gonna skip one because just unless you guys have anything to add on this subject.
No.
No, we get to go. Okay, so last question, a bit lighter, a bit more casual. Favorite leader and favorite card of set 6 so far? Beton.
Oh, you ask me to be first. Okay, I will separate it favorite leader for limited and constructed.
We're not talking strictly power level here, just
No,
individuals
I know.
playing with.
I know. In limited, my favorite leader is Jabba the Hutt.
Okay.
It's super fun to play. It creates totally different experience than normal leaders. It's really fun. It's just completely unplayable constructed, so my favorite leader for constructed will be different. And my favorite leader for constructed in this set is by far Bale. I think he is one of the cooler designs that they've pulled off that is actually playable. He plays almost a different game sometimes, and it's still competitive and not overpowered.
I would argue Chancellor Palpatine from set 3 is both competitive and also like on the same level of competitiveness and also very unique. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but for me it's much more boring.
Because it's a control leader. You're control racist. That's what you are. Control racist.
I tried to build Chancellor Palpatine aggro. It didn't work, so it's a bad leader. And my favorite card from the new set. This is a little bit harder because there is not a single card I really love from the new set.
Oh, there's one card that you really love. You don't know about it yet, but you really love it.
So I will say a card that I know I will play a lot and I will like a lot, and it's the 2-mana 3/1 a red card destroyed and upgrade.
Boring.
Outer Rim Constable.
Really?
Outer Rim Constable.
Really? So boring. It's basically Fang Fighters that cost 1 less. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
And this is my favorite card of the set because F-Pilots.
Okay.
Like you
okay,
mentioned,
okay.
Poland is a place of like good taste.
Yeah, but like, come on. It's a boring card.
No, and now, completely honest, my favorite card from the set is Chancellor Papanoida.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I actually really like the design. I think it's competitive. It's really hard to build around at the moment, but this is a card that I will definitely go back into for almost every single set to build around and try to break it.
It's definitely a cool card for sure. Okay. Sip.
So when it comes to leaders, like for me, the favorite one, maybe it's boring choice or whatever, but I really like Dryden. He's not like super competitive, but I really like the fact that you can, like you have a few nice synergies with like putting cards in discard and having synergies with that, and like giving ambush to all those big units. Like that's super fun with him. But yeah, he has his issues, especially like with the space decks. So yeah, like the Dryden, but yeah, probably not playing him competitively. I can't imagine myself playing a leader that deploys later than 5 resources.
No, it's not a boring choice. Like, it's not a boring choice.
Yeah.
And I agree, he's a cool
Yeah, I mean-
leader. I agree, he's a cool leader. And okay, cards now. Cards.
With cards, I would say it's Stolen Starpath unit. I really like that card.
Sorry, which? Star Hopper?
Stolen Starpath unit, the one cost heroic yellow upgrade that gives +1/+1 and on attack you name a card, and then if you name the card correctly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a
you
cool.
get
That.
fly.
Oh, yeah, and hitting multiple cards with this is so satisfying.
Yeah.
As well. And I
Like the
this is a
favorite
really
part
good
about
choice.
this card is calling the card for the first time, because like you like really need to have a good understanding of like what is ran in different decks to name the correct cards, and like when you name the cards correctly, like it's super rewarding. Like obviously when you see the hand for the first time, like in the following round you know more or less what to call, but the first one is super cool. Like what the opponent can run, and like there are so many different decks that yeah, there are a lot of options to call with it.
No, it's a really, really great choice. Good choice. Okay, Al.
Yeah, so a couple of ones. So I do really like Mon Mothma, like I said, but I think I just love the design of Dedra because she can play mono red. It's a full aggressive deck, and also you can pair her with Vigilance and play like a hard control strategy. She might be replaced Bosk potentially. I just think that's really cool. I don't know of any other leader where we've had the ability to play hard control at like the slowest and the most aggressive decks in the game. With the same leader, so I really like that they've like managed to make that work with her. Whether she'll be competitive, I'm not sure, but obviously I hope she is because I think she's really cool to play against. And when you do play against her, it's really interesting because obviously you keep having to make decisions about whether you take the damage or they draw the card. And there are games where you just take the damage, and you sometimes you take the damage, sometimes you draw the card, and it kind of goes back and forth so that she doesn't have the raid. So yeah, she's super interesting to play against and to play with. So a big fan of her. In terms of the card, one of them in a similar way to I was going to make the same joke.
Dedra is a great choice, by the way. And there's a lot of cool leaders in this set, to be fair.
Say that again, sorry.
There's a lot of cool leaders in this set, to be fair.
Yes, there are, yeah. In the same joke as Beton, I was going to pick Hyperspace Disaster because it counters pilots, which is great. So just another way to stop pilots being good, especially post-rotation. So I'm really glad they printed that. I'm also really glad they printed Outer Rim Constable as well for the same reason. But yeah, my actual favourite card of the set, I mentioned it already, is Jar Jar. He is just so fun. It's amazing. Like, he does so much for you. And again, it might seem like a somewhat boring choice, but as a Sabine player, like having ways to kind of like have more control over the outcome of the game really makes it more fun and enjoyable. And like, having to flip Sabine and just hope your opponent doesn't have a way to answer her immediately, or you just like lose the game, really sucks. So Jar Jar is giving you that ability to, protect her on the flip turn, and means you actually get to use your leader, which is great. One of the most boring things about Sabine is when your leader, the most important part of any game of Star Wars Unlimited, gets like force choked or like whatever, and he just immediately dies. So Jar Jar really helps with that. He allows you to keep like super interesting cards in your hand that you want, like Poe or Thorrk or whatever, because you just resource him turn one. So just lots of cool stuff he does. He really helps the deck, and I've had so much fun with him. So yeah, I'm really glad they printed Jar Jar. I would have loved for him to be heroism, so that Thorrk never missed. I would have loved for him to be a rebel, so that you could use all the rebel synergy, or just so that he wasn't unique, so that you could play multiple on the same turn and one didn't get defeated.
Stop
but yeah,
this
they didn't
man.
give me any. They didn't give me
man.
any of those things, sadly.
Or maybe he should be 1 mana.
Yeah, yeah, sure. No, they could have made him. They could have made him a rebel.
It
But
should
they should have. I think they could have at least made him heroism. I mean, he is a hero in the films, right? Jar Jar. Everyone loves Jar Jar.
No, because he runs for Palpatine. That's why he needs to be playable in Palpatine.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Also, he could have a when defeated effect that leaves a spy behind that comes to play ready.
That would have been good. Oh yeah, nice. Okay. Then we could have played him on turn 1. And he wouldn't have been a bad turn 1 play as well. That would have been great. But yeah, they're my picks. But yeah, there's a ton of interesting cards in the set. Just not that many of them that I play. Another quick bonus one. Sorry, I know I've talked for a while. Faith in Your Friends as well. Super interesting. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I wish that. I think the reason Faith in Your Friends is not busted is simply because of the disclosure requirements.
Definitely.
Obviously, the huge requirements.
Definitely.
But they could have done that with. They could have just done that with Nemec. They could have had higher. They could have done it with Mina Bonteri. But for some reason, they made Faith in Your Friends have a super high restriction, and those two cards have like minimal restrictions.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of crazy to me that they decided to go down that route.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Faith in Your Friend is a very well balanced card. Okay. So on me. Okay, guys, can you guess who is my favorite leader and favorite? You guys have one guess each. Favorite leader and favorite card. Beton.
Favorite leader? You love Unity of Purpose, so I would say Mon Mothma. Or Bale, like both can play this. And favorite card? You like Control. There is not a single Control card in this set. So your favorite card is Emergency Powers.
Good guess. Sip.
Oh, wow.
You
I
can pass your turn.
I wanted to joke that it's gonna be C-3PO, but I don't know, let's say Saba as the leader. I don't know, like, she controls hand, you like to play control, so I guess that checks out a little bit.
She's not a control leader, though. No, I do like Sabi, actually. I think she's really cool. But...
Yeah. What are the blue cards in this game, in this set? Oh, wow. I guess maybe Galen Erso as a unit.
It's a good one. I really like that card, but no.
I probably would have said Bale and Emergency Powers, but I'm going to try and pick something different just to cover all bases. So I think, like, if you like Control, then Palpatine. It could be. I mean, I don't think you like Palpatine, but he's cool. He's the actual Control leader, so maybe Palpatine.
I've been talking trash about that leader for like.
And then. As for cards, like, if you really are this Control fanatic that you claim to be, then Slime Ore should be your favorite card.
Bro, I haven't played... I don't know what you guys are saying. I play Control all the time. I haven't played Control in, like, 3 sets. Like...
Yeah, well... But yeah, like I said, I think you're a big Gar ECL fan. Emergency Powers is obviously the biggest upgrade for Gar, so it probably is that.
Okay. So, no. My favorite card in the set is... So, Bail Organa is my favorite leader in the set. But honestly, I really like Dead Rat 2. So yeah, but Bale is definitely my number one. And my favorite card in the set is Hyperspace Disaster.
Yeah,
because
baby, yeah.
I fucking hate pilot decks, and this deck is... this card is...
Great minds think alike.
yeah, like... No, Emergency Power... No, I don't actually like Emergency Power. I played because it's busted, but it's such a cheesy card. I hate it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a very... I think it's a very bad design. I don't like that card. But I played because it's busted, and I love Gar ECL. I love the deck, but I think this card is just cheesy, but... It is fun. to play, but like I think it's gonna get very old very quick. I think, but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
You called me boring for picking a counter to pilot, and you basically pick a card that is counter to pilot.
Yeah, but like no, I mean
Nothing
no,
to
no,
do
no,
with
no,
its
no, no, no. You picked a card that is literally just a slightly different version of a card we already have. I picked a
Yeah.
card that is actually exciting to play.
Super laser.
Yeah, but Constable survives rotation, so
to
we
be
need it.
honest, we basically picked the same card. I picked this because we have Fang, and you picked this and we have Super Laser, but
Okay,
this is one more expensive.
Okay, if you can't make the difference between a card that says destroy target upgrade and a card that says defeat all space units, well, now you have a problem, my friend. But no,
Yeah, mine will see more play.
yeah, well,
They would be all both played.
Yeah, but both are really good. I think this is actually really good for the game.
Yeah.
That actually I wanted to say it before. I really like the way they design in the fact that they print answers before something becomes a problem.
yeah, no, they did this multiple times, and sometimes they overdo it. Sometimes they overdo it, but overall, yeah, they do a good job at printing answers of stuff. So then it gives agency to people to kind of play around them. Like Terror Attack is like a good example. Like kind of nobody thought this would see play, but like here we go, people play it, and but there are multiple examples of this.
Yeah.
Because it's whenever if you're trying to be reactive as a designer, like you're trying to give answers, but like you design a set years in advance. There's no way you'll be able to anticipate what needs to be answered. While if you give the answer in the same set, at least you're okay. You guys have the option now. So if this becomes a problem, you can just play that. Something I wanted to say though, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I'm starting to think that 10 cards in sideboard start to be a little bit cramped. I think that especially for Eternal, I would love FFG to expand the size of the sideboard to 15 cards. For Eternal at least.
I actually think that keeping it limited is what makes it fun.
15 cards is still limited. I think it should be proportional to the option you have. Like I think that if you are in a game, let me do the full argument for it. So the argument for it is like. Mostly it's an argument for Eternal, so after the thing that doesn't rotate. It's like I'm afraid that there's going to be so many different decks and so many different options that the game is basically going to turn into a giant game of rock, paper, scissors, where there's so many things you could be facing that are vastly different that it becomes impossible to basically prepare for everything. And I think a bigger sideboard can help with this. It can help players... It can give agency to the players to actually be able to properly cover all bases and make more interesting game, rather than just, I gave up this matchup because I couldn't possibly just fit enough card for
Uh,
I kind of like the idea of having that in Eternal, but not in Standard. I don't feel like in Standard we need that many.
No, in Premiere, it might not be
counter
necessary in
argument.
Premiere, but especially since, like, I feel like it's becoming necessary now, but obviously soon we're going to be in rotation, so it's going to be fine. But I think that in Eternal, it would be a great thing.
I will have a counter argument to that because I think if you put too many cards, too many possibilities to have in sideboard, decks that want to do one thing really well will become almost unplayable.
Like pilots?
I don't
Like
I don't think
pilots,
I don't
like
think that's the
hard
case.
control.
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case because 15 cards is more, but it's not like... Because you could also argue that people are just gonna have more... You could also decide to just have more cards for the meta decks. You don't necessarily have to basically side more cards against those specific decks that try to do one thing well. You could also sideboard more against popular decks, you know?
Yeah, but if you are having, like, for example, let's call it for like first set when Boba was the best deck or one of the best decks. We basically knew that hard control is the only matchup that you can possibly lose.
Yeah.
So why not have 10 cards versus it?
Yeah.
And now, if we would have 15, you would just add, we can just add additional 5, then we will never lose to Sabine.
Yeah, but the problem is the deck is too strong. Also, everybody would have extra 5 cards against you as well.
And Al couldn't figure out what are the 10 cards that he
Because
wants to play even right now,
we
so...
because we had one fucking set, bro. That's why.
Yeah,
I was going to say that Sabine would then have a 15 useless cards on the sideboard instead of 10.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I would just say that I think the more cards you would add to sideboard, the more it would benefit mid-range decks.
I think that's true. Yeah, hard control will get a lot
is-
worse though,
Yeah,
right?
but like
Because-
that's exactly what you want to do in Eternal format, because Eternal format by essence already will benefit extreme strategies. Basically, the bigger the card will expand, in theory, it doesn't always work like this in practice, because obviously there's many. The more you increase the card pool size, the more extreme strategy becomes, and that's what we observe with modern. That's why we observe in legacy. Like the more extreme, the less basically in legacy mid-range deck basically don't exist in legacy, for example.
Yeah.
So this gives actually more ammunition to if this gives good ammunition to mid-range, then that's great.
I would say that it's completely true what you are saying, but at the same time, we didn't see a single combo or oppressive deck yet. Because even though people like say
it's only a matter of time, bro. It's only a matter
Kylo
of time until
but I think it could be a possibility. Like if we have like it's only combo decks in Eternal, then yeah, extending it will be fun. But I think even in Eternal at the moment, you would mostly see mid-range because they want to see mid-range play, and most of the best cards are for mid-range decks.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that in the long term, it's only a matter of time, bro, until that's not the case. So obviously, when the Eternal only is gonna have 7 set in it, it's still gonna be fairly similar to Premier, just more powerful. Even though it depends if they decide to have a ban list or not. If they do have a ban list, then it's But in the long term, it's only a matter of time until the more extreme strategies start to pop out.
I could be wrong, but I feel like didn't they announce that they weren't going to have a ban list for Eternal?
They haven't said yet.
I think they
did.
They haven't. I don't think I don't think if they. But I think there is a single card. If they want to keep the ban list, there is a single card that should never exist, and it's triple dark raid.
Okay, yeah, triple dark raid will be a problem. Okay. If there's one card, so quick question for you guys, quick rapid fire question. If there's one card that you do not want to rotate in Eternal, like I'm not talking about in the long run, just like when the Eternal format comes out, one card that needs to stay banned.
Stay banned.
Yeah, stay banned. All the other cards get unbanned. One card stay banned.
Triple dark raid.
Okay, sip.
Yeah, I think it has to be triple dark raid. Like this card, it can be played in
Al.
I mean, triple dark raid sucks, but honestly, force throw I really sucked as well. So like,
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, it'd have to be triple dark raid, obviously, but I don't know. Force throw did suck. It made aggro.
I would make the argument
unplayable.
with Django. I would rather Django be banned than triple dark raid.
I will may say something controversial. I think Django would not see much play in this meta without triple dark raid.
Yeah, but I would rather have triple dark raid being like, I think triple dark raid is going to be a problem in the future, but in the immediate present, triple dark raid wouldn't be a problem. In the immediate like if you unban triple dark raid right now, it would be very strong. But to be fair, I'm fine with either. But one of the two needs to be banned for sure. That's for sure.
I just don't want to ever go back to 6 mana deal 13 damage to base.
Well,
With
you
a
can
single
play
card.
emergency power on Axe, so you basically can do that.
Yeah, but it's not a single card.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, sorry, it's not.
Triple Dark Raid is also not a single card, by the way.
But it is. You can have only triple dark raid in hand and 6 mana.
Yeah, but this, yeah, they are counters.
And
too.
it's not only and I forgot, it's not 13 damage to base, and it's 13 damage to base. Draw a card.
Irrelevant. So yeah. No, I mean it's undeniably an extremely powerful card, but
No,
with that being said, the decks that can play it right now in the current meta, I think like triple dark red will work out because there's currently no real aggro red black yellow deck, and so it would actually create new archetypes, and I don't think those archetypes would be busted.
I feel I don't. I think that's the bigger problem even with her. I don't think the archetype would be busted, but you would lose so many games to just I triple dark red on 4 with invisible hand. Have fun.
Yeah. It's you mean it's too much win percentage linked to a single card is what you're trying to say. Okay.
I think.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I think we just didn't have any card that like even force throw. Single force throw was good. Force throw was busted because of multiples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I still don't think so. Force throw was busted, and actually, I think the fact that the decks were able to just not play fourth throw and still be competitive is kind of a testament that the card was not that big of a deal.
Oh, I think the card was big of a deal because of the fact that you could use it on yourself. It just created situations that were stupid. Like you shouldn't be able to kill a leader for 1 mana ever.
Yeah, well then this is. I mean, okay, well we're not gonna go back to this debate, but like,
but
it's not only you're not only paying 1, you're discarding literally the card that you desire the most at this stage, which is your 7 drops, which is the card you're gonna desire the most at this stage of the game, and you also need to actually have that card, and you actually so it's not you're not only paying 1. That is dishonest to say that.
I knew that force throw was OP when I built Sabine that ran it.
And yeah, okay. Wait, anyway, like, I'm just trying to say that even though undeniably I agree that from a fun standpoint, I agree that fourth throw was good to ban, and it turned out that the meta turned out better without fourth throw. So, but the fact that the fourth throw meta was actually quite balanced, in terms of deck diversity at least, and the fact that most of the decks that were running fourth throw did great even without it, is the proof that fourth throw was not that big of a deal. Was not that.
Well, what decks are you talking about there?
Hantu Blue, Anakin Blue, Talzin.
I mean, Anakin Blue and Talzin have got so much worse since that.
Yeah, they did.
Quinlan's completely unplayable. It was one of the best decks in the game.
Quinlan is not unplayable. There's many great players.
Well, it's like tier 3. Okay, it's tier 3.
No.
It went from being top of tier 1 to tier 3.
Yeah, but people you have to not underestimate the fact that people were just sick of playing the deck, so they would just they didn't want to play a weaker version. They were sick of it. This same with Talzin. Like Talzin is like, okay, well we'll play this deck enough. Let's move on to something else. But it turns out that whenever you have good players playing the deck, it was actually quite performing. There's quite a few players who picked up Talzin, Quinlan, and did very well with it. So Quinlan.
Well, I'd say the main problem with Force Throw, right, isn't that necessarily it was that busted. It's the fact that you were talking earlier about hard control and like making that not a thing and how bad that is for the game. In a world where Force Throw existed, like aggro became not a thing. And I tell you what, if you think hard control being not existing is a problem, aggro not existing is a much bigger problem for the game.
Well, that's not true.
Aggro
is not true.
What? Which bit's not true?
That is not fucking like. Aggro was very playable when Forth was a thing.
It was terrible, man. Force Throw would win the game against aggro every time. It was terrible.
Because you're only talking about Sabine. Because Sabine is your
No, not just Sabine.
What aggro was played in Galactic?
Technically, Vader got top 8, but yeah, I am also with that.
No, but first of all, you get the how's it called, the and for basically the space aggro decks never had a better time. So all the space aggro decks were doing great. So hand 4. So in Galactic you actually had 4 Talking Town in top 8. So yeah, no, there's multiple aggro decks that did really well.
Aggro
Yeah.
has never been weaker. It's never been weaker
Yeah.
than
You say multiple aggro decks. They were
Okay,
pilot
let
aggro
me
decks.
pick up the thing.
They were
Okay, by the way,
aggro
guys,
decks.
I'm not disputing the fact that I'm not
He should have
disputing
been
the
banned.
fact that okay, well, Sabine was actually 8.3% of the meta, so yeah, it was fourth most played deck in the
Yeah,
set.
but
Some people just never get tired.
Just
of
because
that
she was played doesn't
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
that she was strong.
Yeah, well, that's top 8 result, guys. That's not overall play rate. That's top 8 result. Cat Bane with double one drop opening, also an aggro at 6.4%.
Catbane wasn't played with one drops during that event. You mean about you're talking about Galactics, right?
No. I'm talking about the overall all the meta before Fourth
okay.
Row got banned.
Yeah, but that wasn't aggro Cad Bane though, was it? It was mid range Cad
Oh
Bane.
no, it was aggro Cat Bane, bro.
No, it wasn't.
Mostly, most of the result came out from
before the first row ban. It was actually one drop cards that performed.
yeah.
Yeah, but but that doesn't. Those stats don't represent one drop Cads though, right?
No, they do.
That's just all
They
Cad
do.
Bane.
Yeah, they
Alright,
no,
okay,
they do include everything, yes, but the majority of them are double one drop Cat Bane. And then you got obviously like all the space decks that basically loved the fourth row meta because this is where because false decks were mostly like ground based decks.
Well, there you go. There you go. The main argument for banning Force Weapon is we actually saw more pilots when it existed, and nobody wants that. So
Yeah, but
To be honest, I actually think first row ban, like pilot, everything else of Vader didn't like first row. Vader didn't care.
yeah. No, so basically my point I'm trying to say is like, first of all, I do agree that fourth row ban turned out to be a good thing. So no denying this. I'm just saying the fact that this is the card that you want to ban for Eternal is crazy. That's just what I'm saying.
no, I said after Triple Dark Red. To be fair. But
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So,
I have.
but
I have
to be
one
fair,
question.
I would like them to keep the same ban list for Premiere to Eternal.
Yeah,
personally.
same, yeah.
But I have a different question, a little bit different, still I think fun. If you can keep one card post rotation, what would it be? I have two answers.
It's
but...
it's impossible to answer a question without being prepared, bro. I need to.
But just pick one you really like, you would like to keep. You don't need to overthink it.
Super Laser Blast.
I mean, I was going to say Super Laser Blast, right? Like, surely that's the one you think.
That's Super Laser Blast, probably. Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
Go on.
First one is just a troll one. It's Bamboozle.
Oh. Okay.
But the card I actually would like to keep is ECL.
Oh yeah, I mean, Nissa's great.
Because I have no idea what decks I would be playing without it.
Oh yeah. You're playing it in every single deck you play. That's true.
Except Talzin, almost every single deck I played in, they competitively had ECL.
Yeah, no, Talzin is.
It's not quite true. Like you played Django, Boba for HP.
Yeah, but Django was just
I
a
would not be
phase.
surprised if you played more Hotshot Blaster, which was my card to keep actually.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Hotshot Blaster as is too universally playable. It's just too universally. It's too.
You really, you know what? How we build decks at the moment.
Yeah.
Whenever we build any deck, any color, doesn't matter. I put one Hotshot Blaster as a first card.
Yeah, first card. Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, I agree, but it's too universally playable, so I wouldn't want to have that in the new set. No. Anyway,
Al, and what would be your card?
It's probably quite a boring one, but honestly, I think I would pick Resupply, just because
no.
like it's like a quarter of like the archetypes. Is obviously Ramp is like a whole separate archetype, and without Resupply, it just doesn't exist. So like.
Okay,
I think I
Resupply
would
is a good
like
one,
it.
actually. Yeah, you're right.
Like it's like Super Laser Blast for control decks. Resupply is like ramp decks, right? Without it, you just don't. You lose a whole archetype. So
I think Al only picked it because it's the card that aggro beats the most.
No. Hey, on the contrary, the only games I ever lose with Sabine nowadays are when they resupply. So, like, honestly, like, it's one of the best ways to beat aggro at the moment.
It depends on the deck. It really depends on the
It
deck.
does, yeah. But like at Piet, if Piet resupplies, if
Oh yeah.
if Kira resupplies, they're just so much more likely to win.
Yeah. There's very few
I-
in those decks. There's very few cards that you play over a resupply. Anyway, guys,
What about you?
I think this video has been going for long enough. I don't know how long that is. I'm gonna find out after. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. That was great fun. I hope people will enjoy it because people have been asking for a podcast from us for a very long time now. So hopefully they enjoyed it. If they don't, we'll take notes. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Any words for the end?
Yeah, thanks everybody for hearing us for I think 3 hours.
Yeah. Much love to pilots, to all the pilots.
Yeah. And thanks for hearing us.
There you go. See you guys. Bye bye.